Kind of mixed, disappointed that we've lost that. Well, we've not qualified yet, but of course, if we're in the playoffs, we're not out of it either. But immensely proud of the players for the way they performed tonight, and even more so having gone 1-0 down, which was a poor goal to give away, I thought. I think Doherty says, you know, his man run on him, but he's gone and got the equaliser, so I got to forgive him slightly. I said I was giving out to him about the goal and forgot to congratulate him about the goal he scored, so I'll go back in there and do that. So mixed, very disappointed, but very proud of the lads. I thought they were great.
Sorry, get the microphone, sorry. Just here, Craig.
Hi, Mick.
Yeah.
How do you now find a way to go and win a football match, or to win 2 matches in the space of 6 days? That's the challenge.
Well, I've got 3 months to prepare for that. We'll see who we get. I'll plan for it when we get it. You know, play the way we played, play as well as that, against other teams. We can beat them.
Aside from the goal that they conceded, or we conceded, how did you rate that performance overall?
Very good. Yeah, I just said to you, if I doubt I'd be saying that if I was saying I'm proud of the performance. I thought we played well, I thought we competed well, and I said before the game, and I always said the game, if they leave everything on the pitch, they give everything for me, the lads, I'll take that, and I've got to take the result, so I'm disappointed with that. But that is the only thing I'm disappointed with the whole evening.
Cool. And was the turning point conceding the first goal?
Yes, of course, but it wasn't that we hadn't played well up until that point, because we had. But we've seen in 3 games now, Denmark away, Switzerland at home, having conceded, the response that we've produced, and the mayhem it causes when somebody's trying to hold on to a lead.
Mick, is there a sense that maybe you just weren't clinical enough tonight in front of goal?
Well, quite clearly we weren't. I think that answers that, to be honest.
Mick, looking back on the whole group stage of the campaign, is there a particular result or particular performance that's most disappointing?
No, and I'm not. Why? I'm here to talk about this performance, this game, and I think if you've been in any of my press conferences, I've not been disappointed with any of them, and I've not said that or disappointed with players. They've given me everything. No, I'm not at all.
Mick, how easy is it to use the conviction and self-belief the players should get from a performance like that and bring it into future games in March?
Well, you kept asking. Everybody's asking me about the Denmark game when we lost 5-1. And apparently that was the first. We've played them 7 times. We've only lost them to them once. It has no bearing on it. They'll all go and play for the clubs Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and they'll all play up until March. And you know what? They'll come back and we'll be playing a different team, and we'll get them back in and we'll work on them and we'll try and get that kind of performance out of them. I think you must. Sometimes I think you believe we're very shallow and very, not mentally tough. We have bad performances and bad results all the time. You've got to come back and play well. You've got to get back in it. As simple as that. And they've done it. They've been terrific tonight. So, delighted with them.
Mick, the goal came very shortly after you'd made that attacking substitution to go and really go after the game.
Absolutely nothing to do with it, let me tell you, because it comes from a throw-in and a pretty simple cross in our box. We shouldn't have conceded.
Must have felt like a real sucker punch when, at that stage, you really had the mindset to go after the game.
Look, it's always a kick in the nuts when you concede. But even more so when you're trying to do a positive substitute and try and get something out of the game, or trying to win the game. But the subs again, whoever comes on, I thought they were great. They really contributed.
And just speaking of the subs, John Egan's replacement at half-time denied you a chance to maybe throw on an extra striker just at the death there. Did
Behave yourself. At half-time? At half-time?
Yeah, you were denied. You'd run out of substitutions for the final push. So I was just wondering.
I had a centre-half injured, and I replaced him with a centre-half because it was 0-0, and I wanted to get it as long as I possibly could. So if that's you thinking that I should do that, then...
It's nothing to do with what I'm saying, actually.
Sorry?
It's nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm just saying that when it came to the crunch time in the game, you had run out of substitutions. So it was just a bit of bad luck.
What can I do? I can't do about that. You know, it was a difficult. John Egan gets injured and he's got to come off. But it was always going to be, you know, I tried to jig the subs as well so I could have to keep hold of one in taking the subs that I did and putting the shape of the team that I did. And Glenn Whelan, who was excellent, then had to come off, and we were winging it completely at that stage. But, you know, John Egan's injured, I had to replace him with a centre-back. It's just unfortunate. They had two, didn't they? They had two came off.
Mick, you said there that you weren't clinical enough. Do you think if we perform like that, the goals will come?
More chance of coming if we play like that. Come on, we're not... How many goals we scored? 7 out of 8 games. That's quite clearly not clinical enough, you know. But we don't get beat in too many games, and maybe a little bit of luck, maybe a little bounce of the ball at the end, we nick it. Who knows? I think had we nicked it, I think we'd have deserved it, to be honest.
Joe?
Mick, it was very noticeable that the team tried to play it from the back. A couple of occasions, Randolph probably found himself under a bit of pressure. Were you happy to see them do that? Did you ask them to do that? Or were you saying, just get rid of the bloody thing?
You are winding me up, aren't you? They played exactly the way I asked them to play, the way that we've asked them to play. And we've got a beautiful surface out there to play on. We had the 2 sitting midfield players that could bounce it off and play it. And that was the plan, and that's how it panned out. But I can assure you, there'd be no team of mine that just do either what they want. And no. That's how we planned it and coached it and worked on it, and it worked well.
Mick, can you tell us briefly what you had in mind for Jeff Hendrick this evening? Because he pushed it very far forward. He's almost like a striker at times.
Well, that's exactly how he was playing, yeah. I think he's got he's got the capability to do that because he's good with the ball. He can find a pass, but he's got the legs to run on beyond as well. And he did a great job with Didsey of stopping and playing through the middle of us, which they did far more in Denmark than they did here tonight.
Last one, please.
What did you say to them at half-time to get such a better performance in the second half than in the first?
I thought we played well in the first, to be honest. Final third, I said to them at half-time, the one thing I was unhappy with was the final third, how we gave the ball away far too often, didn't create enough chances when we'd run it back. We'd had a great shape to the team, they'd worked really hard, and not given them any chances. So for the main part, there was only the one part, and of course that's the vital part, if you can find a final pass and a goal. But other than that, I was delighted with the first half performance.